Peas and Rice.
Ooh yeah. Well, alright, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, and I.
Hello folks, welcome to another of our Taste Buds episode, and today we are making rice with pigeon peas, or Jamaican say gungo rice and peas. We're using some Indian basmati parboiled rice because that's very healthy, good for diabetics and stuff like that. We're using Grace coconut milk, and we're using green gungo peas. Now you can use the canned one, or you can pick your peas if you have the gungo trees or the pigeon peas tree at your house. We're using black pepper and pimento seeds, and we're adding a little bit of Lari seasoning salt to it, and of course this is the new thing that the wife is adding, a little bit of sugar, just a little bit of sugar. We also have some scallions, and we have some garlic and a little bit of ginger, and we also have some thyme. Yes, just maybe about a sprig of thyme. And we're gonna cut these up and we're gonna add these to the pot. We also will never leave out the Scotch bonnet pepper. So let's get going. And remember, we're not gonna be cutting our Scotch bonnet pepper unless you really love the heat. At this stage, we're gonna measure our rice, and the measurement is very important, guys, because whatever measurements of rice you use, your liquid that you're adding to the pot has to coincide. You can use water, you can use stock, or in our case, we're gonna use predominantly a lot of coconut milk, and so we're using the entire can. First thing you want to do is wash your rice. Make sure your rice is clean. Once the water is run clear, your rice is ready. As you see, the wifey is just scraping down the sides, making sure everything is in the pot. Then you're gonna add your coconut milk. For this case, we're gonna add 2.5 cups of liquid. So we're gonna measure the amount of coconut milk we do get from the can so that it coincides with 2.5 cups. If it is a little less, you just need to add a little bit of water just to, to the can, and just shake out what is in there and add that, measuring up until you get to 2.5 cups. The next thing I want you to realize is that we are putting in all the ingredients in a cold rice pot. Yes, we're not adding the rice pot to the stove until everything is in there. And this will happen when we do that. Once we do that, we allow everything to steam and leave it alone, let it do its thing. So once our level of water is in, we are good to go. The next thing we're gonna add is our pigeon peas or gungo peas. If you go to the Caribbean stores or Latin stores, you will find pigeon peas on the shelf, or if you look at a Jamaican label, it will say gungo peas. So remember to look out for that. That's adding next, and then we're gonna get into the seasonings, all right, to make sure everything is right. Take it away, wifey.
It's time to add our seasonings. I have like 2 stalks of scallions that I'm going to cut up as fine as possible. Okay, so the hubby took over the cutting process because he is the professional.
No, don't tell people that. I'm not the professional.
You're the what?
I have a good cutter.
So now we're cutting up 3 cloves of garlic. So we have the scallion already cut, and we're doing 3 cloves of garlic. And you just cut it as finely as possible. I mean, for the most part, it's gonna, be boiled out anyway, so it's not really a biggie.
Okay.
And we literally have just a joint of ginger, and ginger gives your rice and peas a very nice flavor. And you can cut the ginger big, if you don't want people to end up chewing on ginger. But as for me, we don't really mind because ginger is good for you, and it's not that bad when you're eating it. So we are just going to cut that up real quick and add it with the other seasonings. So now we're adding all of these seasonings to the pot. And I have a couple sprigs of thyme, which you can add, you know, the amount that you desire based on, you know, your taste. But I'm using like a couple sprigs of that. And then I'm gonna go right to the seasoning process. In lieu of salt, I use Yardie's because I like for the rice and peas to have a nice flavorful taste. And so I use the Yardie's seasoned salt in the rice and peas. And I'm using about a half of a tablespoon. Mix that in nice. And I'm also adding a couple cloves of pimento, also known as allspice. About 8 or so, good to go. And again, be careful when you're serving the food because it's not very pleasant to bite a whole clove thinking it's a piece, right? And of course, a little bit black pepper that you can actually add and sprinkle a little bit based on your preference. And one thing that I like to add to my rice and peas that I think takes it to another level is a little bit of sugar. Yes, sugar in your rice and peas just give it a nice little, I would say umami, but it might not be umami, but just a half of a teaspoon, or rather a half of a tablespoon of sugar. And now that we have added all of the seasonings, I'm just going to add this very important ingredient. A Scotch bonnet pepper is very necessary to add a lot of that peppery flavor to your rice and peas. And just putting a little bit of oil. This is a blend of sunflower oil and extra virgin olive oil, just a tad bit. And we're ready to go. Just gonna put it on the pot now, on the stove now, to do its thing. So after about 20 minutes, ooh, you can smell that whiff of pepper, that flavor of the pepper just hits you in the face and it smells so delicious. So I'm gonna remove the pepper because you don't want to be fluffing your rice and this breaks, because that will probably be devastating if you can't enjoy it because it's too peppery. Alright, so look how shelly that rice is, guys. And I can't get over that pepper flavor. It's amazing.